Hey friends, welcome to another video in my Rebuilding The Sims 2 in The Sims 4 series. Today I'll be working on the Pleasant House. So of course I'm starting out with the floor plan, and as you can see in the reference image there from the Sims 2 version, the house is pretty good size. There's a lot of odd spaces though, which you'll definitely see in more detail as we move forward. But on the second floor especially, the bedrooms are very strange shapes. Like that one bedroom that I just did, very long and skinny and just very strange. So definitely an interesting challenge to furnish and recreate. And then on the roof here, definitely took a lot of different roof pieces to kind of recreate this look. So you'll see me add a whole bunch of different pieces here. And there's a lot of interesting overhangs like here on the front and the back, so trying to make those look somewhat normal is certainly a challenge. And this house is a very traditional Tudor style, which will come through really clearly once we start doing the wallpapers and wall coverings. And in the original version, this room didn't really have a roof over it, but it looked really strange without it. Same with this one. I actually extended that room a little bit in order to just make it look more normal. It was strangely a different shape than the room below it, so making some creative choices here to make it look a little bit nicer at least. So then here you can see I'm putting on that very Tudor style plaster and wood framing with the large stone and also with the wood detail. This house would certainly fit in really well in Windenburg here in The Sims 4, or if you're familiar with Veronaville in The Sims 2, a lot of Tudor style houses in that neighborhood. I'm really looking forward to getting to Veronaville too, to recreate that in The Sims 4. I think that'll look really good in Windenburg. And I don't think this house would even be possible without the build and buy items from Get Together. So this house is brought to you by The Sims 4 Get Together. So then just kind of recoloring a few different walls here, redoing the shingles on the roof. I think that those dark ones looked a lot better on here. And then adding that wood detail, I think really ties it together with the wood paneling, or wood framing, I guess, on the wall coverings. And then just trying to find some windows that kind of tie into this Tudor style and I think work well with the original Sims 2 version. Again, a lot of get-together items. Kind of built out that chimney as well that I'll add more to later. And there was this odd window bug when I was building this. I think they fixed it since, but I was absolutely fighting for my life against that window bug to get those in correctly. And then just copying that chimney on the other side here as well. And yeah, I put a platform inside of it to kind of fill up that space. And I'll put in an actual chimney piece here in a minute. But the platforms work well to kind of raise and lower it, so it kind of sits in there really nicely. And then just finding some stairs for the front here with a railing and a fence that ties in fairly well. Kind of sticking with that same wood color. And of course, like the broke build that I did before, if you haven't seen that, I'll link that below. I redid or recreated the Broke family's house in The Sims 4. But like with that one, of course, this isn't going to be an exact replica. There are different items between the games, different, obviously, tools that we have now that we didn't in The Sims 2. So the kind of idea behind this is trying to recreate really the same sort of style, kind of the vibe of the house, but also taking advantage of the tools that we have now and the different build and buy items that we didn't before. So So I do go with a much different fence than the Sims 2 version that you can see in that reference image there. And I'll actually change this here in a second to more of a hedge style. And I do change the side fences as well to the hedge, and then in the backyard I'll do something a little bit different. But I think the hedge style really ties in well with this Tudor style house, so I thought that looked a little bit better than the kind of short wooden fence that they did in the Sims 2 version. And if you aren't familiar with the Pleasants, it's a family of 4. There's Daniel, the father, Mary Sue, the mother, and then 2 daughters, Angela and Lilith. If you've played The Sims 4 Discover University, you might be familiar with Angela and Lilith. They do make an appearance in Brightchester, but I don't believe Daniel or Mary Sue are in The Sims 4 at all. I haven't seen them at all. But they're kind of the, perfect family that has some secrets and skeletons in their closet. Daniel is a bit of a womanizer, cheating on his wife with the housekeeper. And then I believe Angela, she is dating Dustin Broke, who's kind of the bad boy. She's supposed to be this goody two-shoes. And Lilith, she's kind of the edgy, rebellious one, and I believe she's dating Dirk Dreamer, I think that's his name, who's also, I can't remember what his story is. I'll have to refamiliarize myself. I can't remember if he's supposed to be kind of a goody two-shoes too, or what, but definitely a lot of family drama going on in the Pleasant household. So now I've moved inside, just doing some interior painting, figuring out the placement for the doors. They have this interesting double archway into the kitchen/dining room, and then of course trying to find paint swatches and carpets and floors that will sort of match the Sims 2 version. The bedroom here that I'm doing is for the parents, and they have this sort of green wallpaper and red carpet, but it was I didn't really like it, so I changed it to a more kind of neutral tan carpet, and then I went with that kind of fun leafy wallpaper in the living room there. I believe I think I changed that carpet too, because it just wasn't really working for me. So I think I might just do hardwoods throughout, and then I'll go upstairs here in a second and do the flooring and wallpapers there. That's Angela's room, very, very pink. Lilith's is a bit more gothic, I guess, with the stone and the blood red carpet. She really gives me vampire vibes. I do end up using a lot of items from the Vampires pack that work really well in there. So, and then kind of rearranging the floorboards downstairs, working on this master bathroom. Pretty standard layout. Nothing too exciting here. But yeah, the Pleasants are a fun family to play. I think when you start the game in The Sims 2, when you load into their lot the first time, I believe, Mary Sue's getting ready for work, about to leave. The housekeeper is there. Daniel, I think, has the day off, so there's a lot of potential to continue that affair, or do something else. But I really miss that lore from The Sims 2. I think they did a really good job in that game of creating these really interesting storylines for characters. It's not super present in The Sims 4. It's a lot more of you just kind of have to figure it out yourself what you want to do, which has its pros and cons, I suppose. Gives you a little bit more freedom to do what you'd like, but yeah. So in Daniel and Mary Sue's bedroom, I went with the bed from bed from Seasons. Same with the end tables. And then I do add a fireplace in here. There is a fireplace in the Sims 2 version, but there isn't a lot of furniture in the original house. So just adding, I add some chairs near the fireplace, give it, you know, a little bit of a seating area. That same table, and some different lighting in there. And I think it works out pretty well. And then in the living room here, went with the, you know, kind of a wall-mounted TV, which they did actually. I think they had that exact same one in the Sims 2 version. And then I struggle a little bit to find a couch that I think looks good in here. Same with the chair. They had a small sofa and a kind of a living room chair in here. And I do change the layout slightly. They had bookshelves against the wall with the window in between, but there wasn't quite as much room for that in here. I think they had everything kind of shifted over, but I think this looks a little bit better. If you haven't built in The Sims 2, you know, you're really confined to that grid. There wasn't really a lot of opportunity for free placement or anything, or even half tile, quarter tile placement. So that was definitely a big challenge in that game. And then I do add the easel in here. It isn't in the original version, but it's nice to have more skill items for your Sims to use. And I thought that fit in that space there. So in this hallway area, they do have a stereo right when you come in the door. So I just recreated that with the version that we have in this game. And then just try to make it more of an entryway. They didn't really have a lot of furnishings in that front area. But they did have this kind of workout space in the back. I'm not really sure what this space would actually be used for in a real house, maybe like a seating area. But I believe Daniel's in the athletics career, so you know, he uses that for his job. And adding a fireplace here in the dining room. I'm trying to find a table and chairs that tie in well. And I go with the that updated table that they added, I think is part of the anniversary update from one of the custom content creators, which is a really great item. All of the items that they added in that update were really great. I'm hoping that they collaborate with more custom content creators to get some more really cool content in the game. And I also go with the chandelier from Tiny Living. I thought that tied in really well in here. And the artwork from Dream Home Decorator. That pack has a lot of really great items. If you haven't played with it yet, definitely recommend it, especially if you like building at all. And the kitchen, the original version had, it was kind of a little bit swapped on the counters. I think they were green countertops, but I couldn't quite find that, so I went with green cabinets with a different colored countertop, but I think still fit in fairly well. The ones from Parenthood here, obviously they didn't have upper cabinets in that game, so that is a nice addition to the game. And then I added a bar in that space. They didn't really have anything in that little nook in the dining room, so I thought a bar made sense. So then back upstairs, I start with Lilith's room, and like I said before, I did use quite a few items from the Vampire Pack. I thought they fit in really well in this space, so I went with that, you know, really dramatic bed and some candles on the bedside table, and that matching wardrobe. And then in the original version, this wasn't actually a bathroom, it was just kind of an empty space. So I thought, you know, adding a bathroom made a lot of sense in this otherwise wasted space. But I do kind of carry in that stone and kept it kind of rustic, I guess you could say. And then used that desk from Paranormal, the Paranormal Stuff Pack, which I felt tied in pretty well in here too. And then kept the lighting pretty low, a little bit more moody than the rest of the house. And that end table lamp is also from Vampires, so that pack really came in handy for this room. And then just trying to find some lighting for this bathroom. I just go with pretty standard lights in there. But then back in her bedroom, working on this wall here. I originally go with these big prints from City Living. They really give me communist vibes, which I feel like Lilith would totally be a communist. But I do end up swapping those out just for some posters to make it a little bit more teenager feeling, I guess, in that room. I do add that vanity there with some different lighting. In the original version of her room, there's almost no furniture. It's like a bed, an end table, and a wardrobe. It feels pretty neglected, so I didn't really want that sort of vibe in this. Definitely wanted her to, or for her room to feel like really she decorated it, but was still, full of furnishings. So then moving on to Angela's room, I of course wanted to keep that same pink and very light and bright feeling throughout her room. So I go with the bed from Dream Home Decorator. They had a lot of really great swatches. I think that pink one fits in really well with kind of her vibe. And then it takes me a second to find an end table that I like. I do go with one from Get Together, and unfortunately this video is not actually sponsored by the Sims 4 Get Together, though Sims team, if you want to sponsor it, let me know. But then just trying to find a lamp that works in here. Just go with that base game one with the pink shade. And then for the desk, I think I end up going with one from Cats and Dogs. Yeah, with the same lamp. Gave her a laptop. I think that made sense here. Just adding a dresser and trying to figure out a good layout for the room. And then adding some clutter items, some makeup and perfume and a mirror. So speaking of decorations, I'm sure you can see that my fall decorations are out in full force. I do get a little carried away, but it's my favorite season, so try to make it as festive as possible. What do you guys think of fall? Are you big fall people, big Halloween people? I'm not really much of a scary movie person, but I do enjoy Halloween. Definitely, it's probably my second favorite holiday after Christmas, but yeah, pretty excited for the cooler weather too. That's always nice. So then moving into the hallway here, in the Sims 2 version, there really isn't anything in this hallway other than I think a photo on the wall. So I do add a chess table and kind of a little reading nook. I think I might put in the keyboard too, just to give your Sims some more activities and skills they can work on in the house. I really like this reading nook that I did with the shelving from Dream Home Decorator. There's a lot of really great items in there. I love the modular furniture. I really hope they continue doing that in future packs. But I thought the kind of nesting a little chair in there with a rug and a side table worked out really well. I think it kind of helps fill in that awkward space a bit. I believe that end table is from Snowy Escape. That's also a really great pack with for building. Tons of great items in there. And then I just find some different clutter items to fill up those shelves, make it feel a little bit more lived in, and adding some magazines and books to that end table, really clutter it up. I think that adds a lot of dimension and interest to a space. So then moving into Angela's bathroom here in the hallway, just kind of getting some items in here. One thing that I really wish they would add, or I don't know, change, is the ability to change where the shower door is on there, because it's really, annoying to try to, find a place for it without having to. It'd be nice if you could just change the door so you don't have to change the whole layout of the bathroom in order to make it usable and in the layout that you want to do. But I do like the little nook that I did for the toilet there, kind of setting it back away, and then just kind of adding some different clutter and decorations. I wanted to do a shelf above the bathtub, but I couldn't find something that I liked for there. It's going to jump ahead here. I just pull out a whole bunch of different flowers and bushes just to see what might work well in here, and then adding some fencing to make it look a little bit more formal. They had these kind of almost like planter beds in the original version, so I wanted to kind of emulate that. But I go with a lot more sort of, not quite overgrown, but certainly a lot more lush plants than in the original version. And there's a few different areas around the lot with these kind of pseudo planter boxes, if you will. So just trying to recreate that. So I think the next build that I'm going to do, it's actually a house that's in The Sims 2, but it isn't actually occupied when you start the game. But I'm going to move in the Burb family. I believe it's a husband, a wife, and a daughter in that family, and I believe the wife, Jennifer, is actually Daniel Pleasant's sister. So I thought that would be kind of a good one to do next. But I think the house that I'm gonna do is I always found it really interesting in The Sims 2, so hopefully you'll enjoy that one. That should be up hopefully sooner than this one was from the last one. Yeah, I think that'll be really interesting to see kind of how that comes together. And then I'm just trying to kind of add these vines to the fireplace or the chimney. I think I end up doing something else with that though, because it wasn't working the way that I was wanting. And I do have to end up, lowering the house off the foundation to get everything to sit in there correctly. It always wants to jump up onto that next level. So if the Sims team could fix that too, that'd be great. That's definitely annoying when you're trying to do landscaping. But just trying to find some different flowers and bushes that will look good around the back here. And I just go with these yellow, I'm not even sure, I don't know if they're roses or some other flower, but I thought those looked good kind of along the back here. And then I do, a larger hedge along the fence there. And then I usually try to add some sort of foliage around the base of the trees. I think that makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, like organic and also like formal or like planned. I don't know. I find it strikes a nice balance between that. Really adds a little bit more to the lot. And as you can see, I actually made the backyard a little bit smaller with the fence, just because I think the lot was a bit big for this build. But obviously you can make the yard as large as you'd like. I thought this was still a pretty good size though, for the family, even with the pool. And then kind of going around and adding some terrain paint to these garden beds. And then in the front, around the trees, I'll actually make them a little bit more formal than the trees in the backyard. Here in a second, I'll change and actually draw that kind of planter bed around it again, and add the plants within that, which is pretty similar to the original version. They had that sort of that more formal look to it, which I think actually looks pretty nice in here. And then I'll do that with this tree in the backyard here too. Pretty much any of the trees that are inside of the larger fence. I add that kind of planter bed look to it, which I think looks pretty nice. The ones outside of the fence, I believe I keep those a little bit more free form. Yeah, then I change up the ivy a little bit on that chimney, and just putting up the foundation again, and deleting that one that it randomly built, and redoing the fence. So, and then just putting some finishing touches on the backyard here, adding a table with some chairs, a couple of couches, I believe from the Perfect Patio Stuff pack. I really like those couches. I think they look really nice outside. I believe that coffee table is from City Living, supposed to have kind of that almost like a fire pit sort of thing inside of it. And then adding some sun loungers out by the pool, expanding the patio a little bit. Although I'm just realizing, I think one thing that I forgot to add that was in the original version was a swing set. So if you want to add that, go for it. I'm pretty sure I forget to add that though. But I do get a grill added here to the patio, just extended a little bit so there's a little bit more space. And then kind of adding a gate and a path from the backyard to the front along the side here. Gives it kind of a cottagey vibe, which I think actually looks really nice here. I feel like it fits in pretty well with this Tudor style house. And then that'll just about wrap it up. I'll leave you with some screenshots here in a second, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.